Let's do it. Yeah, what's up, guys? Welcome back. Welcome to Comedian Bible Study. And this is the show. Oh man, I started that a little too early, and here goes the beat, 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 beat. Very good. All right, I'll get that down one day. Welcome back to Comedian Bible Study, the show where I trick my favorite people into talking about my favorite thing, which is God. And I know why you're here. You're curious. You're curious to hear what the Bible about the Bible and what it has to say about your life, right? That's why you're here. And Channing's here because he's the producer of the show. What's up, Channing?
What's up? Sorry, I was drinking coffee right there.
Yeah.
Welcome.
And welcome us back, guys. And here, it's important that you're here. It's important that Channing's here. It's important that I'm here. But whatever, okay? Because this person right here, most important person in the room, besides God if he's here, right? I'm so excited to have her. She's here because I begged her to be here, and she's a very great friend of mine. But most importantly, she's a decorated stand-up comedian. Her Comedy Central special has made her recognizable internationally because it has the most views of all their sets, their 8-minute sets, of their short sets on YouTube, right? She's been featured in the Great American Comedy Festival. She kills every stage she gets on, blah, blah, blah. But my favorite thing about her is she is super smart. She has a PhD in creative writing from USC, and her fiction has appeared in Best American Short Story and the Paris Review, and she has a novel coming out. Ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause for Amy Silverberg. Yes. Oh my gosh.
Thank you for having me. You didn't have to beg me that hard.
No, I wasn't that hard. You were so sweet about it.
I'm happy to be here.
I know. Thank you so much, Amy. And we talk a lot before shows and after shows.
And we were in Nebraska together.
We had a great time. You shot a couple shots when we had that basketball shooting competition.
Yeah, but you know what? I played basketball in high school, which nobody believes because I'm 5 feet. But I was a point guard. But I've lost it all. I got to practice.
I'm sorry. Well, no, I couldn't tell. You had some form left on you. You had some form, man. And that basket was kind of high.
It was unusually high.
We were shooting baskets at Johnny Carson's childhood house.
Yeah. The claim to fame of this town, Norfolk, Nebraska, is that Johnny Carson grew up there.
Yeah, and they're running with that thing,
They are so horny for Johnny Carson in that town. They loved it.
Anybody who's still alive that ever interacted with Johnny Carson is a celebrity in Norfolk. It's crazy, dude.
Yeah, it was
they
wild.
were super sweet. You killed your sets there. You were amazing to watch. But I mean, we as comics, we get to know each other, but it's weird to ask about theological things and things like that. But what would you say is your theological stance now?
I mean, I was just going to say I'm excited because I feel like you have so much to teach me, and I do teach, I adjunct at various colleges, and I teach literature and creative writing, and I'm always like, I wish I knew more about the first stories because I think it would be helpful when you think about all of literature. That's the first literature.
But you grew up in Jewish.
I grew up Jewish in Orange County, where there are not a lot of Jews there. My mom converted, actually. My mom's always like, I always wanted to be a Jew, and then I met Dad, and I'm like, nobody grows up wanting to be a Jew. That's a lie. But I did not grow up religious. My whole, the kind of Jewishness I grew up with was very call your grandma. Right. My dad makes me feel guilty when I don't visit enough. It's that kind of. I was bat mitzvahed, but it was just we never talked about God or even what we believed. It was more just this idea of tradition and it makes your grandparents happy.
Did you have the mezuzah on the door?
Yeah, we had a mezuzah on the door. Yeah, but I also grew up being one of the only Jews. My friends would take me to church growing up.
Oh, snap.
So if anything, it's I probably grew up pretty not in touch with it, and maybe even a little bit embarrassed of it. And then when I moved to LA, I was like, oh, this is where all the Jews are. Who knew that there were so many here? But in general, if I'm honest, I feel I don't know. I feel suspect of religion just because I think it it seems to tear people apart more than bring people together. And I also think I probably have like misconceptions about Christianity, you know, and this idea of like they don't want people to be gay or they don't want, which is probably not true. It's like it's also probably just like stuff that I grew up around that are not all Christians, you know.
Right.
I grew up around the big mega churches where like it was like a hot young pastor and my friends would be like in love with him. It's like so crazy.
Yeah, dude, I mean.
And being gay was not good in Orange County, you know? Yeah, I didn't know anyone.
People are
I
just
think
like
so. I think both.
Kids,
it's like kind of conservative. And of course, I think now that I've also met so many different kind of Christian people, I'm like, oh, that people have a lot of different opinions about that. And they... Like, there's not only one. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Like, I think I had some definite...
So many ways. You could almost, like, justify anything with the Bible. I mean, especially if you don't know the through line, right? Like, and a lot of what we try to... There's things that, obviously, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam all agree about, right?
Right.
Abraham. Really, this part of the Bible that you brought, too, the Genesis, the Torah, these are all parts of the monotheistic religions, and there's undeniable things. But then you could take... like Levitical laws or things about, you know, because obviously it never says anything specific to, I guess, what people look at with homosexuality with the Sodom and Gomorrah story or something. Yeah,
I don't know. But I meet more and more people who are like, there are a lot of Christian people who like support gay people and support gay and all that.
And so you can take that, but then, or you can look at Levitical laws that say about sexual immorality or sex outside of marriage, but then you eat shrimp and you do all this other stuff. You know what I mean? And you consider yourself Christian because it's like that's against, you shouldn't eat certain bottom feeding animals and there's certain things that you don't. There's like 613 laws of Moses, not just the 10 Commandments. There's 613. Nobody keeps them.
Right.
But I guess because the LGBTQ community is so easy to identify, or there is a community. That, and I guess any church or any organization that you want to build, you need opposition. You need to charge up your base by saying, you know, because if they ever went up against masturbators, that church would empty. I'd run out of the church. You be out of there, Shannon?
3 times a day I get kicked out.
You wouldn't even be able to touch a Bible, man. But see what I'm saying?
It'd
like,
stick to my hand.
There you go. Oh my gosh, man. But thank you for bringing the word, Amy. And the word for today is from Genesis, the first book of the Bible. And it's the story of Noah. So we'll skip around verse-wise, but it's Genesis 6, and we'll start with 13, and we'll do 17 through 19, and then 21 through 22. So 13, so God said to Noah, I'm going to put an end to all people, for the earth is filled with violence because of them, and I'm surely going to destroy both them and the earth. 17, I am going to bring floodwaters on the earth to destroy all life under the heavens. Every creature that has breath of life in it, everything on earth will perish. 17, but I will establish my covenant with you, and you will enter the ark, and you and your sons and your wife and your sons' wives with you. 19, you are to bring into the ark 2 of all living creatures, male and female, to keep them alive with you. 21, you are to take every kind of food that is to be eaten and stored away as food for you and for them. 22, Noah did everything just as God commanded him. Background: Genesis is the first book of the Bible and the Torah. As we all know, the Torah are the 5 books of Moses: Genesis, Leviticus, Deuteronomy, Numbers, and Exodus. Genesis includes stories like the creation story, the Garden of Eden, Cain and Abel, the Tower of Babel, Abraham and his covenant lineage, and our focus of the day today, Noah and the flood. Almost every culture in every region of the world has a story about a great flood that threatened or wiped out a great deal of humanity. Amy, why did you pick the story of Noah and the ark?
I want to hear you read everything. I want you to read my novel.
Snap. Oh, yeah, we got to bring, that's a good book, too. Come on, man. I like to talk about good books.
Why did I wish I had like a smart reason. I like animals.
Yeah.
You know? I always thought the story seemed cute that Noah's like, yeah, I want 2 of those, you know, that he was able to gather up all the animals that existed and
He's
put
like
him
the
in
original good guy.
put him in 2s. Yeah.
And what's crazy is he's a drunk too. Like Genesis goes on to say, like,
I didn't know that.
Ham, one of his sons, made fun of him because he gets really wasted after. I guess he's probably sad, probably because
and who
everybody's
among
dead.
us has not had too much to
gets a little
drink.
wasted.
And
He gets butt naked, and then Ham makes fun of him, and he's like, "Ham, you cursed," and all this type of stuff.
he has a
Just
son
selling me
named
even harder on Noah. He just sounds like he fucking rules.
Yeah. He has a son named Ham.
Ham, yeah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth are his three
Oh,
sons.
damn.
And Japheth.
I'm
yeah.
going to name
Was
my
drunk,
kid
dude.
Ham.
I think it was.
This one's gonna be Ham.
Yeah.
Japheth.
Japheth was like really young and stuff like that. Nobody named Japheth. What's your favorite? I got a lot of like homies of culturally Jewish and stuff like that. Like Noah is a
Noah's
big
okay. That's another reason why I picked it. I know a lot of Noahs.
No, Noah's. A lot of really good comics named Noah.
Yeah, a lot of Noahs.
What's your favorite biblical name? Because I've never heard of a Japheth, but I kind of like it. I don't know.
I mean, in terms of a name that I think is impressive, I like Abel.
Abel's dope.
That's a good one.
You know,
Yeah, Cain's kind
Cain
of
is
badass.
good too.
Cain is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like it's powerful.
Have you
Yeah.
guys met a Cain besides the wrestler?
Cain Holloway.
Cain Holloway, comedian?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
I don't know a Cain. I think that's why I,
Hard ass name.
you know.
Yeah, how's his
Michael
comedy?
Caine.
Is it bad? Oh, Michael Caine.
I'll throw it.
And I imagine that arc, you
yeah.
know, with all those animals, like it sounds funny.
Yeah, like it had to be like 3 stories. It
had to be wild.
Well, it actually has the measurements in the Bible. Hold on, let me
It
look
had
at
to
this.
Wow, it has
smell.
the measure. Yeah, it smelled bad. He, like,
had
and
to
then like the
fucking reek.
anteaters sitting next to like
Right.
who did they sit next to?
It's like 40 days. They were 40 days and 40 nights. It flooded.
Why is the Bible so obsessed with floods?
Right. It's there's that flood in there. It's definitely obsessed with the number 40. 40 is a very important number in Jewish tradition. In fact, when Jesus, he's Jewish, obviously he's a Jewish rabbi.
Oh, of course.
And he fasted for 40 days. There was 40 years in the wilderness, 40 nights and 40 days in the very important number in Jewish tradition and obviously in Christianity, because Christianity is just what they believe is the continuation of the Jewish faith or whatever.
I don't know that I knew that.
Well, it's supposed to be that Jesus is the Jewish tradition still waits on a Messiah that's to come,
yeah.
and they just didn't believe it was Jesus.
yeah.
In fact, that was one of my questions. But let me not skip around.
Okay,
I can skip around to that one.
Okay.
Let me ask you this: what do you think Jesus could have done?
Oh no.
To convince
Be
more,
hotter.
right? You don't think it was that hot?
I don't know.
Well, I think
I don't
if-
know if he could be any hotter.
If I went back to my childhood, and
Yeah.
a lot of the young horny girls were very into these, youth pastors, and
Yeah.
they had a very particular look about them:
Right.
tight pants, kind of slicked back hair, some religious tattoos.
Yeah.
You know, those like tattoos that are like kind of hipster. If Jesus would have looked more like a
yeah.
Like
hip-
today's you that pastor?
Yeah, like a
well, he
hip-
had a lady wiping her hair, using her hair to wipe his feet.
so he must have been pretty hot.
Yeah, that's pretty hot. I've never
Yeah.
had that.
That's weird.
No, it's probably not weird for their culture. It was like she rubbed oil on his feet, was using her hair.
Isn't that a thing in the Bible where people are like washing feet in order to?
Yeah.
Right. In fact,
They
Jesus
do
washed.
that at wedding ceremonies.
Ah.
Yeah, my
They-
cousins did that. And I was like, what the fuck are they doing?
What
They're-
religion was it?
They're Christian.
Oh,
I don't know like what sect or whatever,
Oh.
Uh-huh.
but they took turns like on the podium or whatever you call a wedding. What do you call that? Up with the altar.
Altar?
Oh, yeah.
They took turns.
Christian
washing each
wedding?
other- Yeah, washing each other's feet.
Oh.
And
I
was
would have
just
been like,
Yeah.
I can't marry you
Yeah.
Dude, it
if
was-
I have to wash your feet
it was
here in
weird.
front of
I'm
everyone.
not gonna lie. I love my cousins, but damn,
Yeah.
that was creepy.
No, dude, and that was like a big thing. Jesus washed his disciples' feet, and then he said after that, "This is how you serve in my kingdom." Because it was really because they had grimy feet. They
Oh,
would
yeah.
walk a lot.
Right.
So when you walk in a house, somebody had to wash these
Yeah.
feet, so they would have a servant.
And I feel like
do
a lot
it.
of them wearing like weird sandals.
Yeah.
It's like, can
No
we
full
get a guy a
support.
sneaker? Can we get an
Yeah.
arch support?
I was gonna say when you were describing the youth pastor, I can picture.
you
a
know
lot-
what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what those guys look like:
Yeah.
skinny jeans,
Skinny jeans.
faded jeans, and then
I just
like,
watched a documentary about some kind of mega church that had like a downfall, and the youth pastor was like, he could have been a comedian. Like he was just very charismatic,
Yeah.
Right.
good looking. Yeah.
Jesus was funny. He was
Yeah.
charismatic, funny. I think he was good looking for his time.
Yeah, you're also just making me think like I feel like weddings are so interesting in terms of the way they showcase like
Yeah.
the weirdest parts of a religion.
Yeah.
My brother married a Greek Orthodox
Ah.
girl, Christina. Shout out to Christina
What
Silverberg.
up?
And it was wild. It was like the longest wedding I was ever, because I was a bridesmaid,
Yeah.
and they had to like walk around each other. And at one point, she had to agree that she will always obey my brother because the man, and I was like laughing.
Yeah.
I was laughing because I was like, my brother has not been obeyed for what, like she calls all the shots. And my boyfriend was like, I like this religion.
Yeah.
You would have to obey me. So,
Obey.
Yeah, they were like, and this like kind of cantor, I guess he was like, and the woman will obey the man no matter what, like singing in this weird, it was wild.
Well, people take that out of context a lot. I've heard preachers.
No, and
preach
of
right.
course that's not how their marriage goes at all. It's
Right.
just the old style of
It's the song and dance. That's literally it.
But literally after that, it says that a man must love his wife, because there's a part where Paul talks about a woman obey. But the idea is that he's obedient to God. God is the head, so they're both technically obeying God.
Right.
So if you're like, if this guy's a drunk and he beats you and stuff, he's clearly not obeying God.
Well, yeah, and again, the irony is that she's never obeyed my brother once in her. No one's obeying my brother.
But he has
sweet Jewish boy.
Right. Oh yeah. Oh wait, so she's Greek.
She's Greek Orthodox.
Orthodox Jewish or Orthodox Christian?
No, she's Greek Orthodox Christian.
Christian.
And hopefully my parents don't listen to this, but I think that he had to convert in order to get married in her church, and I don't know that my parents know that.
Hey.
Nor do I think they would have like. My mom wouldn't have cared.
We got the clip.
You think your dad would care?
What?
You think your dad would care?
That's such my dad. It's like the older he gets, the more he gets in touch with his like childhood Judaism. But we didn't grow up religious at all, so it's kind of like everyone's was happy that my brother found someone that he loves. It's like, who cares what religion, you know?
Right. No, I feel that too, man. I mean, and how are you, because, and I don't mean to tell all your business, but you're in a romantic relationship.
I'm in a romantic relationship.
And you've been in it for like some years now.
Yeah, almost 4 years. Yeah.
Nice, 4 years. Is he Jewish?
He is Jewish, but I definitely didn't seek that out. It just, I
came up one day, or did you like?
No, I just mean like I didn't, when I actually met him on Raya. Do you know Raya?
No.
Oh, wow.
I know.
What's
Wow.
What is
Wait,
that?
is this a man of notoriety?
Well, I think Raya thought he was.
Okay.
He works for a professional lacrosse league. And I
The
think
NLL?
There's only one now, the PLL. Premier
shit.
Lacrosse League. Yeah, and I think they thought he was like a professional athlete, but he has like 300 followers on Instagram, so I don't know how he got on it.
Explain Raya.
Raya is supposed to be.
Sean's been looking around so confused.
No, this is like it sounds dope.
How would you explain it?
I think it's like it's a dating app for pseudo celebrities and celebrities.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it's like, I think it originally was like for actors to meet each other. I went on it just because I was like, I'd gotten out of a relationship and I was looking to like sleep with someone hot.
Yeah.
And then I ended up dating, have continued to date him. But he happens to be Jewish.
Yeah.
But I didn't, it's not like I wouldn't date, that was.
A Gentile?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That was by accident. That he was.
Have you
Jewish.
dated a Gentile?
Yeah.
How was that? Like, was there a longer relationship? Like,
Yeah. I'm like, for all the talk I do about being like independent and I have trouble with commitment, like I've never moved in with anyone, but I must be a monogamist because I have all long-term relationships, like I have a series. I've been in a series of long-term relationships. So my first serious boyfriend was from the South and he was regular Southern Christian.
Okay.
And I remember being like floored that he had a Bible in his room.
Yeah.
Because I was like, you have a like that.
Doing that.
Yeah, I was like, what I was like, is it okay that I'm Jewish? Am I gonna be like, because I would never have a Torah in my room. It just wouldn't even. It wouldn't even consider.
Oh
and he like went to church on Sundays when I first met him, and I was like, you go to church?
Yeah.
Like I would never just go to temple.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't believe it.
Oh
and then I will say, throughout the course of our relationship, he stopped going to church. So I don't know if that was.
Yeah, you
I
won
don't know
one.
if that was good or bad. But he is truly the like kindest person that has ever lived. I like didn't handle the relationship great in terms of like
giving him time and stuff like that.
In terms of like, I don't always. Now I'm just being vulnerable. I don't always end things when I should, so I like drag them out kind of, and I regret that, but just the kindest person. So my experience with dating a Christian was good.
Yeah.
And then my next two serious boyfriends were Jewish, but not because I was seeking them out, just it happened.
Yeah.
I like funny guys.
Oh, were they
and
all
I think
funny?
a lot of funny guys happen to be Jewish.
Right. Are they intimidated by your funny? Ever? As a female comedian?
I don't think so. I think the kind of guys I attract are like, they like a funny, smart woman.
Right.
I've been trying to tell a joke lately about how like I'm proud of myself that I'm not attracted to bad boys. Like I've always dated nice guys. And as I've gotten older, I realize like it's not that I'm not attracted to bad boys. Like bad boys are not attracted to me. Like if he looks good in a leather jacket, he's not asking for my number. If he loves his mom and sister, then he wants to date me.
Do you think that's still like a stereotype of bad boys?
I know that's what I think of.
But are you a '90s kid?
Yeah,
because that's what I think of too.
Yeah.
You know, like a Fonzie.
I don't. You know what? I don't know what constitutes a bad boy. I feel like I have friends who are like, yeah, like I'm attracted to bad guys, and really what they mean are just guys who aren't nice to them. And then you see him, and you're like, this guy's disgusting.
Right.
Like,
He's not
why
a bad
are
boy.
you?
He's a piece of shit.
Yeah, exactly. Like what? Maybe he has a motorcycle. I don't know. And I'm like, I think what it really is I'm attracted to guys who are nice and respect me.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's weird. No,
Yeah, it's probably because my parents were pretty nice. Like my mom's. One of the things I like about being Jewish, I think, or at least the way I grew up Jewish, is my mom was very like sex positive. Yeah. Like when I was in junior high, she was like, you do not have to wait until marriage to have sex. You just need to. You don't even have to wait until love. Like you should just try to sleep with people who respect you. Which like I think is just such a good thing for a mom to say. And then she also tried to have a talk with me about masturbation. She was like, "It's normal," and I was like, "Oh, what is happening?"
Nice.
How old were you?
Like
Junior
7th
high?
grade.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
and I also didn't lose my virginity till like 18 or 19. Like I gave a hand job in 7th grade at a bar mitzvah.
Hey.
I almost said the guy's name. Behind the bar mitzvah, and then all I did was give hand jobs until I turned 18. It was like I found one thing I felt comfortable with, and I was like, "This is it for me." And I think part of why I felt like I didn't feel it wasn't like taboo or anything because my mom was so cool about everything.
Oh my gosh, that guy! Somebody became a man. Was it his bar mitzvah?
You know what? He became a rabbi. The guy I gave a hand job to.
Oh, dude!
So either I was so good at them that he kept returning to the temple, or I was so bad he was like, I need to find God.
He just jerked him out of sin.
And I was doing it. I was not good at them, but I think I got better because I gave them for so long.
And I think what your mom did was so dope because it took the temptation out of the sin, the whatever it is. I don't know. Some people call it sin or whatever it is, but the idea of there's no like, I don't have to hide this from her.
Exactly. Or know? Like there's no, I think there are a lot of Christian people with a great relationship to sex and their parents, but I also know some religious Christian people who have a little bit of like trauma with how sex was treated when that like you're bad if you like are impure, or they're signing virginity pacts, and I had a lot of friends with like promise rings.
Yeah.
Like and with Jesus, I guess, or with God,
they make a contract.
Yeah, they make a contract,
like
and I'm just like, I don't know that anything good comes from thinking that having sex makes you bad or impure or whatever.
Yeah, maybe it's just the idea that the connection. And it was smart that because maybe it's not much connect, but I guess something happens. You just grab it. But I mean, when you're doing like, I don't know, maybe I could be, but when if I have sex with somebody, like when I did, I remember like, you feel like you take on a lot of spiritual things from this person.
Well, I feel like you're a good guy who would like, whether or not you were having sex with people before marriage, I don't know.
Oh,
but like,
sure.
Yeah. But then you strike me as the kind of guy who's not like, you probably would have felt guilty if you had sex and misled the person, as opposed to, I think it's different if you have sex, you both know that it's like casual. Right. I think the only time it gets messy is if it's like casual.
I think
if it's swayed in one way.
I mean, if it's, one person thinks it's casual, one person not. But my mom's thing of being like, sex is like fun and fine, just don't do it with someone who like respects you, is just, that is what I would tell my
That's
kid.
really smart. Tell them, hey, like in fact, you gotta fuck. You know how you smoke all those cigarettes to make sure your kid doesn't smoke cigarettes?
You think that's what my mom was doing? Yeah.
There's these 50 guys outside.
My mom was like, if you wait till marriage to have sex, you're such a fucking loser. You're such a little pussy.
I'll show you, Mom. I won't do anything.
I'll wait until I'm 18.
Oh man, what if my dad was like that? There's 50 girls outside. You have sex until you're sick of it. I'm never that cool. I always felt weird breaking up. Like when you broke the Christian guy's heart, did you dump him or did he?
It like.
Because you said it just took a while.
I didn't. I didn't. Like I just like slow. I was like sort of like ghosting, like slowly like disappearing into the ether.
You didn't make a decree like God did.
Finally,
you shall perish.
Eventually we did, but it's like I didn't let myself just say it when instead I sort of was like receding into the background.
You kind of forced the hand.
Exactly, forced the hand.
I mean, this is already over. What are we doing?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I think I wanted my cake and I wanted to eat it too. I wanted to not be in a like serious monogamous relationship, but I wanted him to like still be there waiting in the wings.
Right.
I feel embarrassed. It was like, I was young and one of my first serious relationships, like the first person I fell in love with. And I'm just like, I still have trouble getting out of things and breaking up, but I'm just like, I know not to do that again.
Yeah. You know who you need to learn how to end things from? God. Because when God killed, he said, look, I'm killing everybody.
Instead of breaking up.
You need to flood that relationship.
Instead of breaking up with people, I should kill them.
Yeah.
I think what.
Yeah.
And sometimes it feels easier.
Yeah.
I'm like,
You'll
I would
get a
rather
Netflix
just
deal.
murder someone than break up with them.
Oh my gosh. Let me ask you this. Because God did tell Noah that, he's gonna kill everybody, but he's gonna save his family. If God gave you this decree, like, hey, Amy, about to kill everybody, but you can save 8 people max, including family and celebrities.
Oh my God.
You got 8 people, right? And you can, but you got to think of, it can't be all women, or.
I'm not saving my dad. He's 76.
Oh,
He's
Dad.
annoying.
So Dad's
Just
out.
kidding.
So you're not top 8, Dad. Who's in your top 8? And you can include celebrities, but you got to remember it's got to be, I guess, gender balance, unless you all want to have sex with the same guy. I don't know. But who would
Do
you
I
pick?
have to include my family? Or can I do it outside?
Yeah, let's just go outside family. So we're not breaking families' hearts. Yeah, because I love my family. I got a big family anyway. But it's enough Grants.
That's hard. That's hard.
We had our run. But who would you pick?
Grant's a good last name.
Oh, yeah,
Grant's
they're around.
Let me do only celebrities.
Only, or other comedians and stuff like that.
Okay, Tom Colicchio. Do you guys know him?
Ooh.
No, who's that?
He's a bald chef I love.
You got somebody to cook.
He's the head judge on Top Chef.
That's genius.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
sexy. I love
sexy
Tom
and
Colicchio.
he can cook. So you need somebody to start civilization again.
Yeah.
You gotta have a
Hell
cook. Okay.
I'm gonna have to save Oprah.
Oprah.
I just feel that she'll know what to do
She'll
on
keep
the arc.
people's spirits up.
She'll keep people's spirits. Yeah. I'll save Stephen King.
Oh yeah.
One of the great thriller horror writers of our time.
Is that your style?
No, but
he'll
record.
I was writing something. What was the question?
Who would I save?
Oh, okay.
She gets 8 people to save.
Got you. I thought it was like who would you date or bone? And you're naming off all. I'm like Stephen King.
No. To restart humanity.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah. Stephen King, yeah, and it's good you don't have a competing novelist. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm not bringing any comedians. I don't need. Maybe I'll bring a magician.
Funny enough.
David. Okay, I'll bring David Blaine.
You should bring a really bad comedian with you. That way you can shine.
Okay. I'm not gonna name anyone I think is that.
Drop one.
Oh, Shannon trying to set traps.
Okay, I'll bring Sean Grant. No.
Truly
one of the best comedians in my opinion.
Glad to be saved.
I'll bring a porn star.
Oh,
Lauren Pixie.
Right, to make sure
this is a friend of mine too. Yeah,
what we're doing.
I say friend of mine. This is this porn star I became obsessed with because we judged a comedy contest together, and I thought she was just huge jugs, huge butt, and I became obsessed with her. And then I comment on all of her Instagrams, and she's like, "Who is this girl?"
Lauren Pixie. Is she also a comedian? Or?
No.
No.
She's not. She's truly just a porn star.
Nice.
I would like to bring an animal. Like Noah?
Oh, no, I was going to ask the animals.
Oh, okay.
I was going to get,
enough. That's enough people.
So we got 6. We got them.
Maybe a singer too.
Yeah, Taylor Swift or something like that.
I'll say Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift.
Yeah, she covers a lot of bases.
I'm trying to do all my entertainment, food. I'm trying to porn.
You're just trying to have a good time.
I'm trying to have a good time. I don't need to save anyone I love. I'm just trying to have a good time.
Yeah,
You're turning it into a cruise.
Dude, humanity's gonna be cool after that, dude.
Yeah,
We're gonna
exactly.
be super sick.
The porn star and Tom Colicchio have a baby.
Now let me ask you this: I know you love animals, and that's part of why you picked this story.
I love
Noah.
animals. I love
love
wiener
all-
dogs specifically. I think I look kind of like a wiener dog, like long body, small.
That's your dog.
legs.
You have a wiener dog.
No,
right?
I think.
What's your family's dog? I saw you post a dog recently. Is
My
it-
boyfriend has a dog.
Oh, your boyfriend
But
has a
it's like
dog.
a big curly dog. I just love wiener dogs. I can't get one because a dog can't own a dog. That's against the rules.
But if you love animals, what's one species that you absolutely would not save? I'm going possum. I don't think
I
we
love
need.
a possum.
You love
I think
possums?
they're funny.
Oh my God!
I gotta say, and this is
I like them too. My girlfriend hates them.
I think
she
they're kinda
sees them as
funny.
giant rats. I think they're hilarious.
Yeah.
They're blind. They're
I'm
cross-eyed.
gonna send you some possums that might change your mind.
Jeez, they make a weird noise. If they got in your house right now, you would be
That was
cool with
good.
a possum. That was a good possum.
I mean, listen, I'm not cool with anything getting in my house, but I'm gonna send you
Yeah.
some photos.
Anything
of
that has to get into your house, you don't want it.
And listen, if it knocked on the door and was wearing a little hat, and I have photos of possums in hats.
Did you follow Poppy the Possum on Instagram?
No, but I follow possum every day, and every day they put like a different cute possum, and they're like wearing clothes.
Baby
This-
possums are adorable too because they look just like a full-grown possum, but they're only like that big.
Yeah, yeah.
They have all
yeah,
the same
yeah,
characteristics. It's not like they have to grow into their body. They just
stay
get
babies?
bigger.
They don't. Oh, you said
I-
no.
They, like their features just get bigger, but like they just look like somebody put a shrink ray on a regular sized possum.
Oh.
I don't want to save snakes. I don't like snakes.
Oh.
Or cockroaches. That's easy. But
Good call.
Yeah.
snakes, eels. I don't like things that
You're in line with the Bible, man. Snake
Exact-
is the
the way they
start all this trouble
You
anyway.
don't
The
like the
snake.
movement.
No, come on.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Saying you never had you never know anybody with a pet snake?
And I didn't. I thought they were weird.
You thought they were weird? The guys you know
It's
with
a
pet snake?
there's one comic in LA who has a snake and it's like 23 years old.
Jeez.
Oh, who?
Dan Postjan.
Oh,
He
I
runs
didn't-
Hard Lemonade.
I know Dan. Yeah, but I
Yeah.
didn't know he had a snake.
Yeah, and he'll
There's
bring
a
it
bar
out.
that I like. This woman's always there with a snake, and the first time I saw her, I looked at my friend and I was like, "Can I go say hi to this snake?" Like I wanted a picture, and she goes, "Of course you can. Like you don't come to a bar with a snake if you don't want people to
Yeah.
look at you." and
That's like
take
when you walk in
pictures
with a
of the snake.
bird on your shoulder.
Yeah, exactly,
You get weird
exactly.
looks. When's the last time you guys held a snake?
I held it. That was recent.
bar?
At the bar at Bordner's in Hollywood.
I
Yeah.
don't think I've ever touched one.
Really?
Never.
I
I've
like
been
turtles.
close to people doing that.
And
I like turtles.
but
Turtles are
that's
cool.
different. Yeah.
Snakes, if you don't hold one for a long time and then you go about, picking one up or whatever, and you're reminded of how it feels, it's
Yeah.
so weird.
Do they
You
bring
can
a
feel how strong it is.
right?
Well, and the hissing, like the, it's like,
Yeah.
come
Yeah,
on,
it'll do
That's
that.
not normal.
I don't. I've met Dan. I know the name. Well, I've met him a couple of times. How's his attitude? Does he have like a lightness to him, or is he kind of a
He's
darker
a very
comedian?
lighthearted guy.
Yeah,
He's like a.
he
he's
would
like
not
a
be. He was a
golden
contestant on
retriever. Top Chef or something.
Master Chef.
Master
I
Chef.
like all the cooking competitions.
Oh.
He's the last person I would guess would have a snake.
Oh wow! Because most people are like heavy, like who I've met that own snakes. I've met like
Girls
guys-
with tattoos, like
yeah,
goths.
they're like heavy
Yeah.
people. Like as
But
far
I
as I mean, personality
No, yeah,
wise,
not either
attitude
kind
kind
of
wise.
of fits Dan the more you get to know him because he's kind of like a douche, and like he owns that persona too.
Oh,
Or like
He
a
wears
guy
a
who
leather
likes to be
jacket.
weird.
oh, bad
Yeah.
boy.
You know, it's like I always say, bad boy.
He's a bad
If
boy.
someone
damn.
grew up in LA and they're a Clippers fan, like they want to go against the grain. Like I don't like the Lakers, I like the Clippers. Like that's a guy who would have a snake. Like
Yeah.
I like the Clippers, and here's my snake.
Yeah.
The only Clippers fan I've ever known was like a nice Jewish guy. So
Did he? And he grew up in
in Northridge, yeah.
Carl Tart. Shout out to Carl Tart.
Oh,
He's a Clippers
from-
fan, I think.
Yeah. He's from white. Oh no, they used to be white women. Now they're a big team or something.
Yeah.
But
Something
funny
guy.
improviser.
I think. Don't quote me on that, but I think he's a Clippers fan.
And he owns a snake.
Yeah, I know you guys
No.
are talking about.
Oh,
UCB
okay.
guy, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
guess we traveled away from people owning snakes.
No. Yeah. and
Yeah,
that's-
leave snakes off the ark.
leave Clipper fans off the ark.
Leave-
Snakes and Amy's family.
And my family. I'm sorry, my family. My
Oh,
dad.
Did
God.
you bring on?
My dad, the most Jewish thing about my dad is that he like calls me 10 times a day and like is obsessed with me and is was so worried about me all the time. He'll call me and be like, "I'm worried you're not backing up your computer." I'm like, "Worry about yourself."
So he is
Larry.
Jewish. He definitely is Jewish.
He's the Jewish one. Yeah.
Oh, does
My
he love your
mom's
comedy?
my mom's just like a nice, normal, like woman.
Right,
you know?
right.
Yeah, my parents both love my
They
comedy.
both
yeah.
can support the from day one. It's always been support.
Yeah, I went to get a PhD. I decided, and my dad was like, "Why? You're so funny." It's like, okay.
I love your parents.
Yeah.
They're like, fuck school, have sex.
I was like, I need to get a PhD because then I can always teach whenever I want. My dad was like, "You got it. You got it. IT."
dude,
Yeah.
those are cool parents.
I mean,
man.
he drives
Jeez,
me
you're blessed.
absolutely insane, but yeah, they're nice.
Oh
He's
my
worried about
gosh.
everything all the time. Stuff that you didn't even know you could worry about.
Are you his only child? or-
No, but my brother got married to the
Oh,
Greek
I'm
Orthodox
tripping, I'm
girl,
tripping,
but I'm
yeah.
I'm the favorite,
You're the favorite? Okay, it's the
yeah,
two of you guys.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. You're the baby girl. That's
Yeah,
what it is.
exactly,
I
yeah.
got you. Let me ask you this. Why do you think, I hope maybe you don't think this, but I hope it's not an offensive question because I have an idea, but why do you think Jewish people are so good at comedy?
I don't think that's offensive. I think
I don't wanna
you're
make
not
it
Jewish,
sound
are you?
stereotypical or nothing like that, but
No, I think you grow up with like the shadow of the Holocaust, like people trying to wipe these historic idea that at some point people didn't want you around,
Right.
and then I think it's like that has partly to do with it, this way of like
Right.
moving through the world with this kind of like chip on your shoulder, or
Yeah.
I think negative. Like you started in this negative place, and then how do you make light of that? Like how do every day you make light of
Genocide.
yeah, and it's
slavery,
historic.
the Egyptians, the
Right.
Assyrians, the Moabites, the
Right, right.
Hittites, all these. If you read the Bible, there's always
Go
some
Shump.
occupation. Hittites,
Yeah.
the Jebusites, Assyrians, Babylonians, all no.
Everything was rhyming. so it sounded right.
Yeah.
A lot of ites, but a lot of and up to where we get to Jesus, where it's the Roman Empire occupying the Jewish community. But yeah,
For me, I think like a more, because of course I didn't grow up anywhere near the Holocaust, and I think I didn't grow up around any anti-Semitism that I knew of. In the only time would be like people asking me genuine questions because there weren't very many Jews in Orange County.
what would they
people-
ask you?
Like someone asked me if I killed my people killed Jesus. This was when I was in like second grade, and I was like, I don't think so. I was like, I don't know.
Man, which is literally like, so nobody, technically, according to Jesus, nobody killed Jesus because Jesus said, no man takes my life, I lay it down. That's why the crucifix is like the perfect, because technically nobody kills you. His entrails were hanging out and all this stuff. Also, he is Jewish, so that's always trippy to me. Like,
Yeah.
of all the 12 tribes, he's from the tribe of Judah. He's not even just Hebrew. He is Jewish, and he's a Jewish rabbi. He's not a Christian pastor or anything. He's a Jewish rabbi.
yeah.
And he taught the law. In fact, he just came to fulfill the law.
Yeah.
Right? Is the idea that that people should care. So people who think like that are, and I was probably a child, but like they're grown ups who think that way, and it's so stupid. It's clearly you're not understanding the lineage of the Bible and why the Abrahamic religions are so tied together and what Jesus came to represent, like why he comes from these chosen people, why their law is perfect, like he came to fulfill it, and why it's good for you. In fact, that's so interesting to me when you read Leviticus and other things biblically and see how it impacts society today. They had ideas about sterilization and germs. And there was a book about a guy in the 1800s who was bringing this doctrine to the medical field because a lot of guys were dying in the Civil War and stuff because of blood transfer and not cleaning instruments.
Isn't that a big reason why people kept kosher was like because of meat going bad?
Right. They didn't have refrigeration
didn't
and
have
stuff like that
refrigeration.
and so many different things. So when you look at like, pork could probably have killed you if it
Yeah.
wasn't prepared right. At a
So
certain
instead, they were like, God says no.
Right.
You can't. You can't eat it.
And technically, because even Satan is not Satan's name. It means anything. It's a title. It's the one who opposes. That's what Lucifer is
Really?
the devil's name.
didn't know that.
Satan is anything that's not about or satanic or demonic is anything that's not pro you, not pro your growth, pro your health, anything. So God's obviously saying don't do it if worms are being thrown up every time you eat pork. So stop doing that, right? Or other things that were unhealthy.
That makes sense.
So, like
I was gonna say one more thing about why Jews are funny is I think at least in my opinion they're all anxious, and I don't know where that like my dad's anxiety was passed on from his very anxious mom who was passed on from her very anxious mom, and then we get into like the Holocaust time. And I just think the way to stave off that anxiety, at least I grew up being funny because it relaxed my dad and like got his attention sort of, and then you just keep moving through the world in that.
And when you're anxious though,
way.
you're very detail oriented, which I love about some Jewish comics. Like I guess we can do our top 5 in a minute. I was gonna give you my top 5 Jewish comics, my personal one. But Jerry Seinfeld is a very good example of somebody that can extrapolate details from, like just everyday, modern day minutia, but presented in such a way that I didn't know people thought about something. Maybe that's a product of anxiety in a way. Like,
yeah, I think that makes sense. Or like, if you see the world in kind of an off-kilter way, you're bound to be, which I think most comedians, whatever religion, they're like viewing the world in a way that's a little bit off-kilter, whether it's because of how they grew up or just how they see the world or what,
My favorite line from the Israelites, they were going through the desert for the 40 years under Moses, and they just left slavery, and they go, because they're pissed because they're not getting food, and they're like, this dude let us out here to die. Like immediately, they were so happy about Moses leading them out of slavery, and then they got pissed immediately, and they were like, aren't there any graves in Egypt? That's such a funny thing to say. Like, you brought me out here to die. Aren't there graves in Egypt?
Like there was already a little, humor there.
That's hilarious. So many funny parts of the Bible to me. I think that's something so fun. Aren't there any graves in Egypt? Anyway. Thank you, man.
We needed one. We haven't.
All right.
It's been a more comedic heavy episode.
Yeah. We ain't been saying. I ain't been saying no. I just been having fun. I've been trying. I usually try to say something deep.
Oh, I like when you. I told you about. I think I told you this at a show that I taught poetry at USC, and one of my students was like a born again. Is that an okay term? Born again Christian?
Yeah.
I think he would consider it. And I was like, he would raise his hand to talk about the poem that we were like, the contemporary poem. And then he would stand up and start evangelizing to the class. And the first time he did it, I was so surprised that I was like, I was like, stop. But I didn't want him to not get to, but I was like, this is a secular school. And then he was like, it was wild.
That can be, it's how you do it sometimes. Like, it's like.
Well, and he was saying, he was looking at his fellow students.
Was he judging people?
Yes, he was like,
condemning them to hell?
No. But he was like, my fellow students, they drink, they have premarital sex. And then everybody's sitting there like, we're in college. Like, we're trying to have fun. And he's like, if only they could, And then after class, I was kind of like, listen. He was like, you should read the Bible. And I was like, okay, like I'll take that. And he was like, it's great literature. And I was like, listen, if you want to write in your papers that you write in class while you're analyzing poetry, if you want to bring the Bible into it and analyze the Bible and compare it, I'm like happy to read that. And I did, and it was interesting, but I was like, but you can't talk about it in class, and don't stand up. Because that freaks everybody out. You're freaking people out.
Dude, I don't know why people think that's a way. Because if you really believe, and I don't necessarily believe in soul winning, I did go through people probably have heard me say this a few times, but like I didn't grow up. I grew up around church, but I didn't believe in God until I was late. It was my grandma kind of would make me memorize passages.
It's like you had to discover it on your own.
Basically, which I think everybody does, right?
Yeah.
Everybody is a revelatory experience that if you ever, it can't be taught. It's nothing you can share, and you completely understand why nobody believes it, because if you didn't have the experience, like, it doesn't make sense. Like, it just can't. So it's like, I can know a lot of things biblically, theologically, read the Bhagavad Gita, read the Quran, read all these other, the Code of Hammurabi in the Bible. And none of that, in my opinion, is because a lot of Christians, think that's like the level of, and it's like, that's not a level of, it's only accepting whatever the doctrine, right? Whatever your belief is that will get you in heaven. It's not knowledge, right? It doesn't matter what I know, but I just got more interested once I had the revelatory experience. Once I was like, I can see why, telling me I'm going to go to hell if I don't do this, that, and the other didn't really appeal to me. But how can this stuff, and you're like, you use the biblical wisdom, Solomon
I also,
teachings.
correct me if I'm wrong, but I also feel like anything that tries to get you to believe through fear is not going to be nearly as successful as getting you to believe through like love
Right, or
or
how can-
miracles. Or,
yeah, how
just
is
this
this
idea of like,
useful?
if you don't do this,
right.
that's, I'm like, that guy looks fun.
Right, and exactly
With his
that.
little pointy tongue and everything.
You take this thing, it's like, let's not even, you're putting my focus on the evil thing. Like,
Right.
I have to work to stay away. And
then
that's
it
not even.
creates so much like shame, I think, and
Literally, if you read Jesus' story, Jesus never confronted people who came to him sick in sin, right? He or came at them. He was an evangelist in the sense that those people came to him for healing. So they needed a little bit of faith to come to him, right? And those are the people that he would help. But the Pharisees and the Sadducees, the extra religious people of his time who were trying to trick him into legalism, right? And do all these things to make him seem like, because he comes preaching grace, right? And people go, oh, well, if he preaches grace, then he'll defy the law of Moses. Like when they brought him the woman that was the adulteress, and they were going to stone her. According to the law of Moses, in Levitical law, you're supposed to stone people who commit the sin. And they were like trying to get him to admit it, like say, like, or if he either go against it or say, and he wouldn't say anything. 3 times they asked him, and he stands up, he goes, okay, it's true. The woman has sinned. The wages of sin is death, blah, blah, blah. But let him who is without sin cast the first stone. And because he's telling everybody's business and he knows things about different people in this area, they all left. I love that about the Bible. The oldest of them left first, the older people, because you know what you did. You old. But the younger people are self-righteous, and it took them a while to leave. But eventually everybody left, and he said, where are your accusers, woman? And she goes, they've all left, Lord. And he goes, go and sin no more. Because he's the only one in position to forgive, right? Because he's in a position to do that, because he's without sin. He's a spotless lamb. The whole Jewish tradition is the atonement. So he had to be crucified.
That's my favorite thing in Judaism is I love atoning for my sins.
And
I will say, like, I do think I'm agnostic. I think I don't know if that question's coming, but I don't know exactly. But I do think the older I get, I do have this belief in, like, this sounds corny, but like a higher power. That something up there knows better than I do, or the universe knows better than I do, or nature knows better than I do. I don't know quite what it is, but I'm like, it can't just be my thoughts. My thoughts are dumb as hell.
Like when
there's got to be some smarter, higher power.
Like when you bringing down, because the idea, at least in I forget what word it is that men, when we bring creativity down from God in the Jewish alphabet, right? Because I've been learning that. Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Dalet, Hey.
Oh, Hebrew.
Vav, Sayin. Yeah, the Hebrew language, which is the DNA of creation. Is a great video on YouTube about it being the DNA of creation, because the components of each word tell you what the word is. Like man and woman is blood, dirt, and then God. But anyway, like just this idea. Oh shoot! I lost my thought when I said that because that was so cool to me.
Like there's something higher is giving
Oh yeah,
it
when
to
you're
you.
writing your jokes, where do you think you access that from? Is there like do you sit down? Does it feel like mathematical, or does it feel like it comes from somewhere else? Like your best, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I mean, I think when things are going, same as when I'm writing well,
right.
like I write a short story and it's gone well, and then I reread it, I'm like, I didn't even know I knew that. Like, where did that come from? And same when a set is going well, you just feel like it was like,
It's like a connective tissue.
you're like,
between
where did
these
that
people.
come from?
Yeah.
Or like everything that came out of my mouth was funny. In the same way that there are some nights where everything that comes out of your mouth is not funny. Like
Right.
and it all seems to be, I just like this idea of like, I don't know best. How could I? I'm one small little woman.
Yeah.
One little wiener dog. That there's some kind of higher power or the universe, whatever you want to call it, that is working in my favor, whether I know it or not.
Oh, dude, I love that, man.
And I think that's a definition of like spirituality, which I think everyone in LA is always like, I'm not religious, I'm spiritual. But I think that's probably me too.
Man, no, I feel you. So let me, and because we were just talking about why the Jewish tradition is so funny. Who are your top 5 before we get to this Bible Belt competition? Because I got to break you down and beat you about this Bible Belt.
Top 5
I'll tell you mine.
Jewish comedians. Yeah, go ahead.
Mine's a Groucho Marx. Love me some Groucho. Jerry Seinfeld, Henny Youngman, Milton Berle, and Joan Rivers.
Oh, Joan Rivers. Okay, I'm going to go. I consider Larry David, even though he might not be a traditional stand-up. Curb Your Enthusiasm, I love.
Oh, so
Sarah Silverman.
Ooh, yeah.
I'll always love her. Let me go with someone young. Danny Jollis.
Danny Jollis. Come
Good.
on, baby. Shout out.
Yeah, friend. Yeah. Noah Finling. I'm gonna say another
Oh, wow.
young
Don't
guy.
tell
I also
alumni as
have to
well.
say Joan Rivers, just
Rivers,
like a huge. She was like the stuff she did. Now when you listen, you're like, oh, it can sound a little corny, but it was like so cutting edge.
Oh, for
at
sure.
that
Yeah.
time,
Because people are just recreating what's already been done. But back
Yeah.
then, it was complete creativity. And
Who's the person who said I also say Howard Stern, who I consider a comedian, but maybe others don't. Who's the guy who said like they didn't want to belong to any club who would have him as a member?
Groucho.
Okay,
That was a
then, yeah, I'll
Groucho
go there
joke.
too.
Yeah. He has a, what was his other one? The trash man comes by and he goes, tell him we don't want any. I love that guy. The trash man's here, Groucho. Tell him we don't want any. I love that guy. So funny, dude. Oh my gosh. Now let me ask you, like, well, real quick, this is off kilter, but have you
Go
ever been to, I know your friends would take you to church.
Yeah.
You been to black church?
No. I've been to.
Oh, that's okay.
I wish I want to. I've been to Mexican church a lot,
Hey,
where it
that's
was
pretty
all,
cool. Yeah,
all
they-
in Spanish.
A lot of music.
I had a babysitter who was Mexican, and she would bring me to Mexican church when I was like 10, and I would always try. I wanted the wafer so bad. I wanted to eat the wafer so bad because it was
gotta be
Catholic. She
safe.
would not allow me.
I never got one.
You never got one? You're Mexican.
I know, but I was never baptized.
Oh.
I know. My cousins got to go up. One of my cousins, Stephanie, she went up and she cheated. She wasn't baptized either.
Oh.
Yeah, well, I remember my babysitter being like, "Do not reach for that wafer. You cannot go up there and get
die.
the wafer." Because yeah.
Dang.
My oldest sister was the only one baptized.
Oh, word?
Why did they stop after her? They were just like, too much work. Who cares?
We got into a car accident on our way to church once, and my dad was just like, "We're never going back."
The devil won.
I know my brother's, when he has a baby, I know that baby will be baptized in the Greek Orthodox Church. And I'm like, okay, I'll go. And
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. Like, well, so, I don't know. Do you want to have kids at some point?
I don't know.
Okay.
That's a good question. I was just thinking I should probably freeze my eggs.
Yeah.
I used to think definitely, and now I'm less sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I will raise them with.
Yeah.
I would like to raise them with knowledge of Judaism.
Okay.
But I leave them to their own choices.
I think every religion is a good moral platform to start with. At
Yeah,
least,
yeah. And I like, again, like the same way my parents did, or my dad, it's like it connects you to like the generations before. Like that's what I like about Judaism. But it's like if my kids get bar and bat mitzvahed, it will literally be like for their grandparents who will get to watch and cry. Like it doesn't mean that much to me, but it's nice, I think, for the generations before. But if my kid was like, I don't really care about being Jewish, I'd be like, okay.
Yeah. Save the money on the party.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So, and then, does this happen to be your favorite Bible story? Before, I know we got to get to this thing, Shannon, but what is your favorite? Because you're a novelist, you're a writer, story-wise, right? Like, we have so many choices. The Prodigal Son. Are you familiar with those stories?
Yeah.
Prodigal Son, Cain and Abel, first
I like
murder.
Noah's Ark. I like the Passover story, like crossing the desert and stuff, and the matzah. I think that's cool.
Yeah. Okay. You say you're like, what's another one I like? There's some underrated stories in the Bible, man.
I know. I'm like, I have trouble with plot. I'm like, I should just take one of those Bible stories and put my novel.
That's what most people do.
They're all, a lot of The Matrix, a lot of,
Is that a Bible story? The Matrix?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, The Matrix is it's almost exactly, so like.
I don't even know the Bible well enough that I would ever.
What kind of story?
Yeah.
Jesus is like, so he's the one or whatever. He's Anders' son, his father and son, right? Which is what Jesus is. He's the father and the son at the same time. He's God and man. He's 100% God, 100% man. But anyway, and John the Baptist is the Morpheus character. He's John the Baptist. He's proclaiming this guy is whatever. That he's the one, and has, what is it at the end? He has to become sin to destroy it. So Jesus, when he's on the cross, part of what he had to do was become sin for everybody else. He took on all sin, and that's the part where he goes. He'd already been beaten, and his entrails are hanging out, and he goes, "Oh God, pass this bitter cup from me, but if it be your will, God, whatever." Because that was the tough part, taking on sin and what it does to him. But literally to beat the virus, he had to become the virus in order to destroy it. So so that was the idea. In those 3 days, Jesus was in hell giving people a second choice, because that's the idea. Adam and Eve made the first choice, which was sin, and then he gives us a second choice, which is to go, okay, which is amazing that somehow that you just at some point in your life you're like, man, I need another choice. Like I need to change something about myself, and it gives you kind of a baseline. Like, okay, I should be more like this, whatever. Which But yeah, anyway, shout out to Jesus. Thanks, buddy.
Shout out to Jesus.
Shout out, big guy.
If only you look like some of these youth pastors, man.
Yeah.
Big ups.
Could have got the whole Jewish tribe with us. But we're back. We're here, and it's about war, right? It's about fighting right now, because I got to beat Amy for this. I know, it's actually on Amy's side, right?
Yep.
Dang. The guests are...
I don't know who I'm holding this up for.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, believers and non-believers alike, your host, Sean Grant, is coming off two back-to-back losses to the great Tatiana Gucci and Jared Kasbaum. Today's title holder, the Noah of novelists, the comic in Covenant, the killer of companions, the one and only Amy Silverberg.
She called her because you dumped the Christian guy?
Yeah.
The killer of companions.
You said you wanted to kill it. You would just kill it.
She'd kill her. Oh,
Yeah.
So, Amy, the way this works is you guys are doing a 5-round trivia question competition.
Let's go.
You are representing the guests who are the current title holders. Sean is attempting to win his belt back. Champion, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
That's not you. That's Amy.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
Challenger, are you ready?
I was speaking in faith. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. God says speak in faith.
These are not softballs, by the way, and it's going to be a little bit hard for me to pronounce a lot of this shit since I don't have you reading off the screen. Right. So bear with me, everybody.
I'm nervous.
But you'll answer first, because if we have the same answer,
you'll go first. If you guys tie, you still win.
Oh yeah, okay. Good.
Just know that you're representing a long lineage of really
winners.
heavy-hitting challengers. Or guests, I should say.
Yeah.
Question 1, round 1. Why did God afflict Uzziah with leprosy? A, for building idols. B, for murdering his son. C, for burning incense in the temple. Or D, for stealing from the Israelites. Did I pronounce that right?
Uzziah? Yeah, he was around the time of Jeroboam. Sorry, I'll let you go. Wait.
Okay.
Let me know if you need me to read it again and read out the answers.
No, I mean, thank God, I guess, that it's multiple choice, and still I'm taking a stab in the dark. I'm going to go with building idols.
Building idols, yeah, that sounds right. And I'm pretty good. So, okay, Uzziah, Jeroboam. So he was the king of Israel, and Judah was run by Jeroboam. That's when it split. I just want to prove that I know stuff, but I don't know the answer to this. But I do strongly believe it was building idols. Unless it was killing his son. God, I don't think he killed his son, King Uzziah. Go with building idols. That's what a lot of them would do. They would go
with A, building idols.
A, building idols.
Yeah.
Okay. Correct answer is C, for burning incense in the temple.
What?
Yeah. So the explanation is Uzziah attempted to burn incense in the temple, which was the priest's job, and God afflicted him with leprosy for not listening to them. Reference 2 Chronicles 26:19.
Because I was like, well, that sounds right, because why not have a church smell good?
Right. Like,
So why would he get mad at that?
He's overstepping his boundaries.
A little funky in there.
For he is a vengeful God. Question 2, round 2. How long did Ahaz reign as king of Judah? A, 2 years. B, 14 years. C, 16 years. Or D, 22 years. Usually when it's about longevity, the answers are so much more spread out. It's like 20 years, 500 years, 6,000 years. These are
pretty close.
2 years apart. Yeah, so this is a tough
okay,
one.
I'll say I haven't heard of Ahaz.
Me neither.
Ahaz, it's A-H-A-Z.
Yeah.
Do your best.
I'm going to go with D.
You went
D,
D?
22 years.
22? I'm going to go 14. 14 was an option, right?
Correct answer is C, 16 years.
Dang, we're both wrong.
We're both wrong.
Okay.
These are fucking hard.
Yeah, these are tough.
really hard,
Sometimes they're like, who were the 2 people in the Garden of Eden?
Right,
I had to
right.
abandon those because it was 3-3. This is
either
the first time
super
we've done
hard-
5.
Yeah.
All right, keep them coming.
Here we go.
We can
Question 3, round 3, and the hard hits continue. Who succeeded Ahaz as king of Judah? A, Uzziah. B, Hezekiah. C, Amaziah. Or D, Ahijah?
I'm going to go with B, Hezekiah.
I'm gonna go with. I feel like it's a trick. Uzziah. Think you got this from the same area. So Uzziah.
So you're going A, Uzziah, and you're going B, Hezekiah, Amy. Correct answer is B,
Woo!
What?
Hezekiah.
What can I say? I heard that name and
Dang.
I'm
down. I'm down, but I'm not out.
That's a good biblical
I'm
name.
down, but I'm not out.
You got
Yeah.
time.
I got time. I got 2 questions. Okay, I'm down though.
Question for round
I
4.
need her to miss one and get the other one. Okay.
After Hezekiah's Passover celebration, what did the Israelites do? A, went to war. B, burned incense at the temple. C, destroyed the idols in the land. Or D, rebelled against Hezekiah.
I'm going to go with destroyed the idols. I'm obsessed with the idols. One of these has
You
to
watch
be
Survivor?
idols. No, but I want to. It's the only reality show I don't watch.
Oh, man.
Rebelled. I'm gonna go with rebelled.
You're going to go with, Sean is going D, rebelled against Hezekiah. Amy, you're going C, destroyed the idols in the land. The correct answer is
D. Let's go.
C,
What?
destroyed the idols in the land.
Can't win. No.
Wow, I can't believe
Get it, Amy.
After
I
the
can't believe
Passover
it.
feast, the Israelites went through the land and destroyed the idols that had been built. 2 Chronicles 31.
Too smart.
1.
not
And
fair.
the
She has a PhD.
final question, the relegation round. If the Israelites observed the commandments, it would be to their what? A, righteousness. B, detriment. C, forgiveness. Or D, love.
Their righteousness.
Righteousness. Yeah.
Correct answer is A, righteousness.
Yeah.
And-
Congratulations, Amy.
Da-da-da, da-da-da.
I know she's never read the Bible, but she got a P. She's super smart. She doesn't even need to.
Bible schmibble. Just kidding.
Dude, that's
Yeah, I know.
amazing,
I'm
Amy.
like, God, if you're up there.
Yeah.
I'm agnostic and still I'm always like, God, if you can hear me, and if you're there,
I'm the same
I,
way.
then
Oh,
I do
man.
believe in you and I think you're great.
Yeah, I think you're great, Amy. What do you got coming up?
I
Thank
think
you.
you're
Congratulations, Amy. What do you got coming up, then, folks? This is probably gonna come out in a few weeks. So, but,
Okay,
yeah.
you know, I'm touring a little bit, and I'm going to Australia for
Sweet.
most of November,
Yeah.
and then in January I'll be in Wisconsin and some other places. Look at my website www.amysilverberg.com, and when my novel comes out, you could pre-order it. I just gotta
Hey.
finish it.
Oh man, I'm first in line. You ain't gonna pre-order before me, then. Okay,
yeah.
get Amy Silverberg's
And I'm
novel
on all social media at Amy Silverberg.
at Amy Silverberg, and follow us at Comedian Bible Study on Instagram, and subscribe to the YouTube page, the Sean Grant Network, where it comes out on, and follow Channing online at the other Channing.
Yes, sir.
On Instagram, follow me at I am Sean Grant on Instagram, guys. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Read your Bibles. Peace.